Good evening. For those of you in the audience who have not attended one of these hearings recently, let me review our normal procedure. Staff will introduce each item for consideration. If you would like to speak, please fill out the speaker form located on the table in the lobby and indicate the item number and whether you are for or against the item, and please give the form to the clerk seated on my left. The applicant and supporters will be heard first. Those in opposition to the request will be heard next. Then the applicant may be given a chance for rebuttal if necessary. Comments should be restricted to pertinent information regarding the agenda item under discussion. If you're an individual, you will have 3 minutes for comments. If you're speaking on behalf of a group, you will have 6 minutes for comments. Speakers should move closer to the podium when their item is being presented by staff. Speakers should identify themselves clearly for the record by stating their name and address. Each speaker should be given respectful and courteous attention. The board may ask questions of speakers or staff members. Information such as pictures, site plans, letters, etc., presented at public hearings will be kept part of the public record. If you have something you want to show us that's on your cell phone and you would not like to give the county your cell phone to hold for their records, we would like to see it, but you need to promise to send it to the staff after the hearing. I would then ask for a motion from the board. Once the motion has been made and seconded, discussion will be closed to the floor. Following board discussion, a vote will be taken. During voting, board members who do not cast objecting votes are considered to have voted in support of the motion. Any person aggrieved by any decision of the Board of Adjustment may, within 15 days, file an appeal to the Board of County Commissioners to the Planning and Development Division of the Development Services Department. Okay, we're ready for our first item.
Good evening. Good evening, Angie Califer with Planning and Development. Item number 1 is a request for a front yard setback variance from 100 feet to 10 feet for an accessory structure in the A1 Agricultural District located at 5795 North Road. The proposed accessory structure will be approximately 385 square feet and will encroach 90 feet into the required front yard setback. The accessory structure will consist of a guard shack room and a trash room that will be attached by a covered drive-through. There is a single-family residence permit, permit number 22-2038, that is currently in review with Development Services. There have not been any prior variances for the subject property, and this concludes my presentation.
Okay, any questions for staff?
Is this for a community in here, or is this just for a single, like you said, a single
A
structure?
single-family residence in the A1.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present? Sir, do you have anything you'd like to add to staff comments? If you're going to speak, I need you to come up and state your name and address. Good evening.
Good evening, thank you. My name's Terry Lodge. I work for Joe Gross Architect, which is the architect of record, and the applicant has asked me to come speak in his behalf. Is that okay?
Yes, I need
Did
to-
you fill out a form?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Okay, and you just
My
state your address.
Yes. My address is 279 Adelaide Street, DeBerry, Florida, although I am a fourth-generation Sanfordite.
Mossy back.
Yes. I have been asked to speak for the applicant mainly because this is, I know more about the building and what it is. It's a concrete block building. It is a structure that began as a place to put trash cans for bears. Makes sense. And it was a 10 by 10 room, 10 by 11 room on the outside. And it was to match the proposed residence that will also be built later or simultaneously as a and the style is modern, kind of mid-century modern, flat roof, concrete, stucco with decorative stone front. So what we decided to do is to add a building right next to it and put a drive-through, covered drive-through in the middle where that building could be used as a guard shack, unoccupied guard shack when he has parties and stuff to let people in. It is a single-family resident, and it is a gate. We'll have a wall around it and a gate, and an automatic gate. And he thought it would be very convenient because the house is 100 feet back, is to go ahead and have somebody out there during parties. And he is a partier, and we'll be using it on a regular basis. And so I'm here to answer any further questions beyond that. It would be very difficult to put the guard shack back 100 feet, although we did set it back far enough that 2 cars could pull up to the gate without blocking the roadway. So it is in a position that is, won't be any kind of conflict with traffic in that very quiet neighborhood.
Sir, how far is that off the roadway? I'd be missing.
The front of the guard shack itself is 10 feet off the property line, which is about 25 feet off the road, and the gate is another about 14 feet beyond that.
So we're talking in the 40-foot range-ish? My math is right?
It'll be one lane, 12-foot road going into it.
Well, I mean, it's about 40 feet off the pavement.
Oh, a good 40 feet, yes.
Yes.
The gate is, yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions for the applicant's representative? Yes, sir.
I do for this gentleman, but if I might, Mr. Chair, just ask a quick question to staff.
Sure.
A question that came up that I hadn't thought of as we were chatting. I don't see, and Ken, I don't see mentioned in here any comments from traffic. And when I hear conversations of the gentleman likes to party and this is being done to facilitate parties and there's a closed gate, should we have traffic involved for backup and things like that?
So the gate is not going to be a solid gate. It's going to be an open gate.
That is correct.
So it's not going to be solid.
That's not what the plans show.
It is a iron gate.
Where am I looking? I'm looking, where does the aluminum gate, where is that? Because I'm looking at something that's just below the drawings you had of the guardhouse.
May I approach the,
No, sir, if you can.
Page 12, Jim.
yeah, I don't know what you're looking
Let me
at.
see it.
Yeah, oh, you
It
have.
says side
Well, I'm looking
section
at the
of it.
rear elevation and it says aluminum gate.
Okay, if you look at sheet A1, do you have sheet A1 of the building plans? Down in the bottom, there's a floor plan. You'll see the 2 square buildings to the left and the right, and as you move towards the back, you'll see 2 posts, square posts, and then you'll see a gate between those posts.
All right, and if it's closed, can't cars stack up?
Well, you know, I may be over-exaggerating when I say party. It means maybe, it's because the house is only like 2,000 square feet. It's not a kind of a big thing, but I think it's more of security as much as that, as someone being able to come in there with a car and steal stuff. And but the parties, in a sense, I guess, would be maybe a dozen people, or more, or if that. So I wouldn't expect any more than 2 cars stacking up at one time.
Our gate requirement is 20 feet from edge of pavement.
Which makes sense. This one's 40.
And what's the lighting like around this, sir?
There'll be a coming away from the guardhouse to close to the property line where the wall is. Hello, sir. There'll be 2 other posts, and there'll be lights on that post out there, and then there's recessed lights up in the covered area shining down through the porte-cochere part, the part that you drive through. Most of all the lighting will be somewhat indirect except for the coach lights, and those will be more decorative. They won't be much for lighting. They'll be low lit, low voltage, kind of a nice little warm glow.
And then my last question, sir, and I'll stop hogging the microphone, is would you share with me the steps you all have taken to communicate with the neighbors about this project?
All the required steps for a variance, and I want to ask Jason to do that since he took part of that. Can you answer that question?
Yes, yeah, I posted.
Sir, you state your name and address for the record, please.
Jason Turner, 5725 North Road, Sanford. That's where I reside. This property here is, what is the address, 5?
Has it been issued one?
I don't think it has.
5795?
Yeah, I actually reside on the other block. So,
So would this not be a residence then?
yes, it will be.
Okay, you'll move.
Yeah, building it and then,
Yeah. But share with me, sir, please, the steps you all took to chat with the neighbors about the project.
the neighbor across the street, I've spoke with him, I have a relationship with him, he didn't have a problem with it. We did post the bright fluorescent green what do you want to call those, on the tree facing North Road and then the tree facing Orange, because it's a corner lot.
And so all of the neighbors are supporting it?
I haven't heard any complaints from anybody. I'm always on the property, once or twice a week. It's I don't know if you're familiar with the area. It's kind of a very rural area. It's kind of, there's no association, there's no deed restrictions or anything. It's just before you get to those 5-acre tracts. I think it's called Seminole Woods, right? Something like, yeah. So it's actually right at the main entrance of Seminole Woods. Seminole Woods?
Seminole Woods is east of it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Gotcha, thank you, sir.
Yeah, man.
Any other questions for the applicant or his representative? Okay, thank you.
Awesome, thank you, man.
Chair, I do have a question for staff.
Okay.
The one question I had is, there was on the site plan, they're talking about a CMU wall that goes up to 100 inches in height. It seems excessive for what we normally would allow on a property.
There is one currently, first of all, it doesn't require a variance because there isn't a height requirement currently in the A1 zoning, but there is one on his current property down the street.
Okay, well, you answered the question. There is nothing in it that in the zoning right now that would restrict
No,
that.
it will need traffic engineering approval first, but
Thank you. That was all I had.
Okay, is there anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion?
I'll just say, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, it's your leave.
No, go ahead.
I'm not comfortable with this, and I'm concerned about it being close to the road, but none of the neighbors chose to show up and say anything, and staff is not voicing concerns to our questions, so I'm going to vote for it.
Okay. All right, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you, guys, appreciate it.
All right, next item.
item number 2 was withdrawn by the applicant, so we won't be hearing that this evening.
But is there anybody in the audience that came to speak on item number 2?
Okay, item number 3.
So item number 3 is a request for a rear yard setback variance from 30 feet to 15 feet for a screen room in the R1A Single Family Dwelling District in the Lake Mills Shores subdivision located at 328 Hibiscus Street. The proposed screen room will be approximately 585 square feet and will encroach 15 feet into the required rear yard setback. 3 letters of support were received by surrounding neighbors, and there have not been any prior variances for the subject property. Concludes my presentation.
Okay, any questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present? Hi, is there anything you'd like to add to staff comments? Do you all have any questions for the applicant?
Yes, sir.
Yes? Oh, okay. Okay, is there anyone to speak in support of the request?
I'm the applicant, so I don't think you want me to give my approval.
We can guess.
Well, if you want to speak in opposition to it, feel free to.
I've been working on this since last year, so.
All right. Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? Okay, do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion to approve in a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Good luck. All right,
Thank
next
you,
item.
ladies. Thank you, gentlemen.
Item number 4 is a request for 1, a side street north front setback variance from 25 feet to 5 feet, and 2, a side yard east setback variance from 10 feet to 5 feet for an accessory structure in the R1AA Single Family Dwelling District in the Holiday Bear Lake subdivision located at 3415 Holiday Avenue. Subject property is considered to have 2 front yards for setback purposes. The front of the house faces Holiday Avenue. The Jamison Drive side is where the variance is being sought. The request is to construct a 200-square-foot shed, 20 feet into the side street setback and 5 feet into the east side yard setback. A letter of support has been received from the property owners across the street from where the variance is being sought, and a letter of opposition has been received from the directly affected neighbor on the east. On February 27, 2012, the Board of Adjustment granted the applicant 2 variances for a carport, a rear yard setback variance to 14 feet, and a side yard variance to 5 feet. And this concludes my presentation.
Okay, any questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present? Sir, is there anything you'd like to add? Please state your name and address.
Scott Collier, 3415 Holiday Avenue, Apca, 32703. I'm not sure what the opposition is with the neighbor. I believe he also opposed my carport, when I applied for that variance a few years back. The shed, there's currently a shed, there you can see there now. I want to make it permitted and put a bigger shed there than the small one that's currently there. He's also got a shed on the side of my fence, right up against it. I've never complained about it, so I don't really know what the deal is there. That picture is a little old. There's the pool's been demoed. So in order to put the shed, based on the current requirements, would put it like up against the house. I would rather it, be at the, end of the line there, if possible. But the neighbor that would see it directly, he didn't have a problem with it. I mean, there's already a small shed there to begin with.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant?
So it's basically just replacing existing?
Yeah, it's an old structure. I just want to get it off the property and put in a newer one and, up to code and all that kind of stuff when it's prefab.
Height is the same though?
It's probably going to be very similar. From my understanding, the rules are you can't go over a certain height, 11, 12 feet, somewhere in there, so it won't be anywhere near that, but it'd be just one of the sheds you buy off with the prefab, companies.
My question is though, is the one that's pre-existing right now, is it going to be the same height, your new one that you want to get, is it the same height as your old one?
I would think so, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Mr. Hadaway?
Sir, just taking a look at the letter from Mr. Gutierrez, who I think is your neighbor, and to allay some concerns they might have, for auto repairs you've done at your house, have you ever been paid by anybody for that work?
No.
Working in it, so you've never run a business out of there?
No, I mean, I might fix my daughter's car when she's got a problem with it, but beyond that, no. I mean, the shed's not even automotive purposes for my lawnmower and lawn equipment and other things that I have there. So yes, I do have a 2-car garage that's in the back, and I do have some cars there. But I mean, I don't work on them that often. I don't really have the time to, but I do, try to work on them when I can. I do realize that's what his complaint was when we got the garage approved. I don't know, 2011, whatever it was. His complaint was like car smell.
But no commercial activity going on?
No, it's
Gotcha.
not a business.
Gotcha, thank you, sir.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? Okay, do we have a motion?
Move to approve?
Second.
A motion to approve in a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you, appreciate you.
Item number 5 is a request for a side street east setback variance from 15 feet to 5 feet for a privacy fence in the PD Plan Development District in the Hideaway Cove at Oviedo subdivision located at 2662 Estuary Loop. The subject property is a corner lot and is considered to have 2 front yards for setback purposes. The front of the house faces Estuary Loop. The Upland Point side is where the variance is being sought. The request is to construct a 6-foot tan vinyl privacy fence, 10 feet into the required 15-foot side street setback. The proposed privacy fence is 5 feet from the sidewalk and 28 feet from the edge of pavement. Traffic engineering has no objection to the placement of the fence as it relates to site visibility, and there have not been any prior variances for this property. That concludes my presentation.
Okay, any questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present? Yes. Yes, is there anything you'd like to add to the staff comments? Oh,
I'm actually Maria with On the Line Fence. How are you?
hello.
Wow, you
We've seen
promised.
once or
To see
twice
you guys
last
again,
month.
and I'll see you guys again next month.
All right, state your name and address.
Maria Arevalo with On the Line Fence. I'm the fence builder.
please. Business must be good.
Business is great.
Okay, what would you like to tell us?
So for the Ramen residents, they already have the back line that was put by the HOA. So we're basically just butting back to that and then putting a gate on the right side, if that makes sense. But the back line is already there per the builder. So we're looking to go back because for this particular client's house, their back corner, like the farther back you get, the narrower it gets. So we want to be able to eventually put like a bigger gate because they are business owners as well. And that way they're able to put, whatever they want on that side yard. Because on the other side, there's only 5 feet between the houses. It's very small.
Okay. So you're trying to connect to the end of the existing wall?
Basically, yes, which is already there from the HOA.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant's representative? Yes, sir.
Do you have a photo of what you're describing of how, where the existing fence is located?
Well, no, I mean, it's just going to come 5 feet off the sidewalk and go straight to the back.
My imagination isn't that strong, so it's just, I'm asking.
Yeah, if you pull up the other picture, the one that had the fence,
Those gerbils running.
Forward.
All right, got you now.
you see it? So that where that fence ends, there's like this, it's like I don't even know if it's like a sewer thing or something like that. So we're basically going off of that fence and then coming straight down to where the HOA allows, which is about 10 feet off the side of the house, going back.
Gotcha, thank you, ma'am.
So I would say it looks like it's 15 feet from the corner of the lanai to the edge of the property?
Correct. And then as it gets closer to the front is kind of where the wider part of her property.
Right, it narrows it towards the back. I
Right,
see.
exactly. And then on the other side is like very narrow, so, because of the way if you look at the construction of the house, that first, I would say 10 to 15 feet kind of like jogs out. There's like a chunk of the house that jogs out before it actually starts getting a little bit wider in the back.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
When those other houses on Hideaway Code, well, actually, that's the main, in between, I'd say adjacent to the address that's in question right now, are there other, it looks like there's other fences in between those houses. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Just what I'm seeing right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're gonna keep it, we always, just so you guys know, like, I always, when the guys are installing these fences, like, I always make sure that I'm never, like, passing the stop sign. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that there's no visibility issues at all.
Okay, any other questions for the applicant's representative?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
just one question. I know you said you can connect to the back of the fence that the HOA already put up there, and you'd come straight forward, but obviously that sidewalk's on a curve, so how are you going to maintain the 5 foot from the sidewalk?
What do you mean?
The sidewalk's curved, the road's curved through the area,
Well,
so,
we're gonna do like a jog because in the back there, the reason they didn't put that last piece there is because there's like a sewage thing there. So we're gonna
Understood.
come off.
no, I
go out,
understand
and
that
then
part.
go
I'm
straight.
asking the exhibit that we have says there's going to be a 5 foot setback from the sidewalk. So how are you going to follow 5 foot from the sidewalk if the
Oh,
sidewalk
we
is
run the
curved?
string, yeah, we're gonna run a string and keep it 5 feet. We're gonna follow the line of the curb. We're not gonna go, like go straight.
Well,
out,
you had
basically.
said we're going to go straight from the back. I just want to make
Right,
sure
no.
you're
what I meant-
maintaining 5
yeah.
foot from the sidewalk.
No, it's gonna be 100% 5 feet, yeah,
Okay.
because I mean, there's final inspections, and if I don't do that, I'm gonna fail inspections, so.
That was my question.
We'll definitely maintain that, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you. Is there anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion approved in a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the request, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Good luck. We'll probably see you next month.
You want us just to give you a regular seat?
All right. Next item.
Item number 6 is a request for a side yard north setback variance from 10 feet to 5 feet for an addition in the PD Plan Development District in the Wekiva Hill subdivision located at 220 Banbury Court. The request is to construct a 140 square foot addition 5 feet into the north side yard setback. A letter of support was received from the directly affected neighbor on the north, and prior to the meeting, the applicant gave me 3 additional letters of support and HOA approval from surrounding neighbors. There have not been any prior variances for this subject property, and this concludes my presentation.
Okay, any questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present? Yes, sir. Is there anything you'd like to add? All right, please come up and state your name and address.
Leroy Scharfenberg, 220 Banbury Court. Like this young lady said, I have support from all the neighbors and the HOA. I recently took a new job. I'm working at home now. I have twin boys and a 1-month-old tomorrow. So I just need a little bit extra space so that I can work, so I'm not stuck in the laundry room
You're
doing laundry
surprisingly
while I'm
well
working.
rested.
Huh?
You're surprisingly well rested.
Well, I only had one this time. Last time I had 2, so it's a little bit easier with only one. But like I said, I had support from all the neighbors, and if you look at that picture there, it's going to be on the right side of the house behind the fence. And my yard is kind of a pie-shaped, so only where the tip comes out is going to be 5 feet. So it'll be 5 feet, and then it'll gradually stagger up to more than 5 feet. And that's what I got.
Okay, any questions for the applicant? All right, thank you, sir. Anyone to speak in favor or support of the request? Anyone to speak in opposition to the request? We have a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion approved in a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Is approved. Good luck to you. All right, we have minutes from, we'll start with February. Any additions, deletions, changes?
Question.
Yes, sir.
This is me being dumb, I guess, but I noticed on some of these, well, now I'll be able to find an example where like they mention number of absence. I was looking at the other one. I think I'm looking at the March. I'll wait till that one, Mr. Chair,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Motion to approve February.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, they're approved. All right, March.
As I was trying to say. Like, for example, if I take a look at variances number 1, absent 4, I see 2 names.
We
That-
we had assistance with the format probably does look different. We had assistance in helping us do the minutes. And so I saw that where they just put
Yeah.
the 2 people absent, and we can go and just take that out under each item. Because I think she was just following a template.
Cool, okay. Thank you.
We'll fix that.
That's me. I'm happy.
Yep. Doesn't bother me either way, but it should be consistent.
Yeah.
All right,
You're just cool and relaxed.
I am. Okay. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
So seconded.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Anything else for the good of the order? Go home.